Kazakhstan's experience in repatriation of its citizens from conflict zones can be an example for the world community. This was stated by the representatives of the U.S. Department of State at a briefing session on the results of the fight against terrorism in 2019. They noted that Kazakhstan is a leader in repatriation and they will learn important lessons based on the country's experience in order to apply the process in other countries. This year, as part of Jusan humanitarian operation, Kazakhstan has repatriated more than 600 people from Syria, including 406 children. Another special operation which involves bringing home 14 young Kazakh children from Iran has been conducted. Thousands of Idlib civilians have fled to the borders of Turkey. There is an intense clash between government forces and terrorists in the city. According to the United Nations, direct explosions from both parties have hit 50 villages, including medical and educational institutions. Almost 80,000 people have fled to the Turkish borders. Thousands of Iraqi students took to the streets of Basra to protest. The youth are unhappy with the government's decision to postpone the appointment of a new prime minister. Former Prime Minister Adel Abdul Mahdi resigned in the beginning of December under the pressure of the protesters. A wave of popular discontent in Iraq has been continuous since October this year. The people are dissatisfied with the corruption, unemployment, and lack of services in Iraq. Typhoon Ursula has hit the Philippines, where wind speed reaches 150 kilometers per hour. Airlines have cancelled their scheduled domestic flights, while the Coast Guard has banned sea travel due to the typhoon. Rescuers have evacuated residents in the coastal areas due to the high risk of flooding. Meteorologists forecasted that the tropical storm will follow the path of Typhoon Haiyan, which killed more than 6,000 people in 2013. Cooperation between Kazakhstan and Czech Republic is expanding. This is evident by the increase of bilateral trade value by 10% to $760 million in the first 10 months of the year. Kazakhstan is the key partner in Central Asia for Czech Republic. The countries actively cooperate in areas such as agriculture and mechanical engineering. Czech business people consider Kazakhstan as an attractive country for their investments. Czech Republic and Kazakhstan has been cooperating for many years. Your country has a huge potential. You also have all the minerals from the periodic table of elements. We are operating in the energy sector. The reason why we chose Kazakhstan is because of the country's reliability for investments. Tourism is another key area of cooperation between the countries. Experts forecasted a significant increase of tourist numbers from Central Europe to Kazakhstan this year. In addition, Czech citizens are now able to visit the country without visa. A direct flight between Prague and Nur-Sultan was launched this year. Demand for sunflower oil from Kazakhstan in foreign countries has increased. An enterprise engaged in the production of the vegetable oil in the east of the country plans to start exporting its products abroad. New equipment has been bought and the factory has been modernized with the help of state support. 150 tons of oil products are produced at the factory every day. The production volume is planned to be increased to 200 tons, while the product quality will be improved. We have many contracts and negotiations. Our product is in high demand in China. The unrefined oil in tankers is highly requested. Therefore, we realized this necessity a long time ago. In the future, rapeseed and soybean oil will also be produced at the factory. The factory is confident that there will be no issues on sale for its products. The vegetable oils are in great demand in China as well as in neighboring Uzbekistan and Tajikistan. Meanwhile, farmers in Almaty region have started to export corn to China. The first batch, consisting of 32 container wagons, which is more than 1,000 tons of corn, has been delivered. We deliver corn wagons on a daily basis to Central Asian countries such as Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, and Uzbekistan. This is our first delivery to China. In the future, we plan to enter new sales market. Previously, agricultural products were transported by rail, but today they are delivered through a dry port. The Presidential Youth Staff Reserve is officially formed. Most of the young professionals who were selected work in private and quasi-public sectors. 98% of the reserved candidates are employees of public institutions. All of the candidates have a higher education and 57% of them studied abroad. The Presidential Youth Staff Reserve consists of young people from all over the country. An individual competency development plan will be created for each of the reserved candidates in the first quarter of 2020.
Президент тапсырмасына сәйкес бірнеше ай бойы осы бағытта ауқымды жұмыстар атқарылды.
On behalf of the President, a lot of work has been done. At the moment, the selection process of the reserved candidates is completed. The National Commission has reviewed all of the applications and selected only 300 young professionals. They will be appointed to senior posts in the public administration system in the upcoming future.
Алдағы жылдарда мемлекеттік басқару жүйесіндегі жауапты қызметтерге тағайындалады деп жоспарлануда.
32 contestants have been announced as winners of the 100 New Faces project in Kazakhstan. About 2,000 citizens of Kazakhstan have expressed interest to take part in the third stage of the project. The initiative, implemented as part of the modernization of Kazakhstan's identity program, encourages the youth in the country to follow the example of others and contribute to the development of the nation.
Еңбекті көріп, бағалап, міне қазір жеңімпаз ретінде осында шақырғаннан кейін ол үлкен бізге.
It is huge support for us when people see and appreciate our work. We produce traditional clothes for families. Currently, we have partners in 20 cities in the country. I was born and grew up abroad. When I saw Kazakh ornaments made by my grandmother, I have always dreamed of producing traditional clothes. I had only 35,000 tenge when I set up my company. Now we have become a large holding company.
Міне осы Қазақстанға келіп, қазір сол компанияны ашқан, басында бұл компанияны ашқан кезде қалтамда небәрі 35 мың теңге болған, ал қазір үлкен холдингке айналды.
Kyrgyzstan has set an ambitious goal to have the highest number of readers amongst the CIS countries. The government has allocated funds for the construction of new libraries. New books are constantly being added to the reading rooms throughout the country, including the classic books. The government and the readers are changing the range of books in the libraries. The country has collected 35,000 publications and donated the books to villages as part of the One Book from One Person campaign. Recently, our Kyrgyz books have become appealing, so people want to take and read it. The books used to be boring. Today, it is very comfortable for readers because the book cover is beautiful and inside the fonts are large, so the eyes will not be tired. The paper quality is better as well.
Мы призываем полностью общественность Кыргызстана, всех деятелей.
We want the Kyrgyz community, workers, citizens and especially parents to read books. With the introduction of new technologies and globalization, we lose focus on reading books. Therefore, we want to revive this. A lot of campaigns are organized as part of the library's projects.
На сегодняшний день очень много акций проводится в рамках обновления библиотек.
Tajikistan also pays great attention to ingrain love in reading and national literature among its youth. The country has summarized the results of the Republican competition of book fans. Participants had to recite several hundreds of lines from national works. I was seriously preparing for this competition with my teachers and mother. The compulsory program involves works of 270 writers. It took several days to choose the works and 2 more weeks to memorize everything. This competition has garnered the interest of many people to read books. In the age of technologies, young people spend a lot of time with gadgets. Despite this, all the students performed successfully. The competition was dedicated to the 30th anniversary of the country's independence. Participants of all age groups have showcased their knowledge on Tajik classic, modern and children's literature, as well as world classic for the first time. A project on promoting the works of Central Asian artists to the international art market was launched in France. The creator of the project is Kyrgyz artist Nazira Zhenishbekova Barrio Nuevo, who is living in Paris. The Great Silk Road is revived through the artist's paintings, stored in private galleries in the capital of France. Participants of the project are from a wide range of countries. European art connoisseurs are able to learn about the creativity and new skills of artists from Central Asia and Eastern Europe from the private exhibition. The event allows the region's artists to have access to famous exhibitions and auditions. They will also have the experience of selling their works in the European Union.
Конечно, это что-то новое, наши традиции.
Of course, this is something new. This is our traditions, customs, and culture. The Europeans are very interested in this. We want the project to be organized at the international level.
Как бы шло уже на международном уровне.
Tous les peintres qui viennent du Kazakhstan.
Artists from Kazakhstan and Central Asia deserve to display their collections in Europe. However, it is necessary to be able to present your work at a very good level, which includes explaining the meaning and symbols of each painting. The local audience needs to be explained on the subject of the artwork. The artists are brilliant.
Un spectateur lambda qui arrive, il
A research expedition conducted as part of the modernization of Kazakhstan's identity program resulted in the finding of a collection of Kazakh household items and utensils, such as tapestry, decorated felt mat, dishes, tube for dairy foods, cups, and cradle. These items were donated by the researchers and local residents to the Karagandi Regional Museum of Fine Arts. The valuable exhibits were showcased at the Decorative Crafts and Ornaments of Saryarka exhibition. The event will be held until the end of the year.
Бұйымдар жалпы 19 ғасырдың басы.
These items belong to the early and late 19th century as well as the beginning of the 20th century. The items are not being used today. We collect it for people who are interested in art in order to revive our spiritual values and wealth.
Байлығымызды жаңғыру мақсатында жинап отырмыз.
Meanwhile, the Attarau Museum of Local History has been replenished by nearly 100 pieces of silver jewelry. These jewelries include rings and bracelets, belts and earrings that were made in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Each piece tells the history of Kazakhs and gives a lot of information on the perception of the world by Kazakhs. For example, a ring shaped as a bird's beak is a symbol of happiness and the beginning of a new life. A bracelet is not only a fashionable jewelry but also an item to protect women against evil. These works of art have been preserved by a certain individual.
Жалпы музейдің қорында бұған дейін тарихи құндылықтар өте көп болады.
In general, the museum has jewelries which have great historical value. Currently, the museum is replenished by exhibits from Attarau region, West Kazakhstan region, as well as from southern, eastern, and northern Kazakhstan. These items will help us to promote the development of jewelry craftsmanship.
Кеңінен насихаттауға көп көмегін тигізетін болады.
A new ski facility has been built and opened in Pavlodar region. Nearly 1 kilometer-long cableway has been constructed on the Mirza Shoki mountain. Investors said that in the future, the total length of the slopes will reach nearly 30 kilometers. The new recreational facility is full of tourists, although snow does not last long in the Bayanaul mountains. Soon, the facility plans to purchase an artificial snow device in order to provide long-lasting winter.
Практически на 90% горнолыжных курортов.
Almost 90% of the area is ski resort. Nature is unpredictable. It always brings surprises every year, and we learn from our bitter experience. Many people plan their vacations in 1 year or half a year in advance. We plan to use artificial snow so that we can be less dependent on the unpredictable nature. For example, we announced December 1st next year as the opening date of the season, and by this time, we can pour the artificial snow on the ski track. The first batch of tourists has given their evaluation on the ski facility, the level of its service and infrastructure. We lack the nature and fresh air in our life. As a result, we need to clear our thoughts. I believe this can brighten up our everyday life. I've spent all of my childhood here, and of course, I would like to come here over and over again.
Катиться можно
Here you can glide nearly 200 kilometers to 300 kilometers. The track is long and adventurous. Sometimes it is steep or flat. You can relax and take a break. It is a little windy in the open air, but the weather is nice. In the beginning, the Mirza Shoki ski resort could receive up to 1,500 tourists per day. Local authorities believe that next year, opportunities of winter in Bayanaul will significantly increase. Tourist services will be introduced to the tourists all year round.